I want an Aura TV series. For people who don't know, um, Auras are. I'm a Harry Potter fan. Been one since I was a child. Even though I know that they don't have that clout right now, that franchise, because let's be honest, they're past their sell by date in terms of their prime. That 10 years ago, they were the MCU. Now the MCU is the MCU. DC superhero movies are more the thing, and more importantly, because of controversies with Johnny Depp and his ex that shall go unnamed, she who shall not be named, and obviously J.K. Rowling even before that, and have raised controversies with the trans community and some trans activists. Let me rephrase. Um, Clearly, this video's wish fulfillment, but I repeat again, Cobra Kai has made me realize, and Mandalorian, that Harry Potter should get an Aura series. Auras in the world of Harry Potter are dark wizard catchers. Essentially, they're the equivalent of police officers, law enforcement people, who track down and catch dark wizards. And it boils down to three big things for me why I would want an Aura series. One, because the action. Two, detective storytelling. And then three, history. Now I'll break that down. First off, the action. Honestly, don't blame you if you watch the Harry Potter movies and you've seen some bits and you've dismissed them just immediately. This series, in my mind, you could sell it by saying this is going to reaffirm action through magical warfare, right? I'll give an example of what I mean by that, because people get turned off, even me, thinking about the Harry Potter movies looking back. There's something that happens in Harry Potter movies where people, when they're fighting each other with their wands, the energy from their wands connects in the middle and joins. And they almost, if you're like a novice, pun intended, if you're a novice and you have no idea what's happening, you just see it as, oh, as long as this person pushes a bit harder, the energy from their wands goes into the other person's and then kills them. That's meant to be something called priori incantatem. And for some reason, the filmmakers in these movies, they have dumbed it down so much to where almost every major wand battle, someone connects with someone else's wand. In the Harry Potter series, I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts, so maybe they do it there or they don't do it. But that's just an example of like dumbed down stuff associated with the Harry Potter franchise, and they make warfare and action seem really basic. And I think with this series, you could get militant action scenes like, if anyone hasn't seen the fight scene between Voldemort and Dumbledore, where that same effect still happens, where the ones meet in the middle, and it seems like they're just pushing harder with their wands to see which energy goes further. But after that ends, they have a really epic wand battle, and that's the closest we've seen to me, almost like anime level proportions of like action in cinema, in this kind of cinema, fantasy, Marvel, DC, whichever. And I think we could stand a lot to gain from that kind of action scene that on screen. So much different types of spells, not just the stuff we've seen like on screen. So many that we haven't seen, so many effects. And the good thing about that is, unlike something where you need to train in terms of stunts, this is more about planning that goes into it. Certain charms and effects that will go past each other. If you plan out these scenes, they could be breathtaking. And again, just to fill you in, if you have no idea the kind of thing that I'm trying to paint a picture of, go on YouTube and type in Voldemort versus Dumbledore fight. The way it starts, again, very basic. It looks like they're just pushing each other's the energy from each other's wands harder. But right after that, when they start really going at each other, it looks breathtaking, and you just imagine the potential that a series about people who catch dark wizards as their job could be with something like that. So that's my first reason. Just give people that confidence back into action. My second big reason has to do with, guys, I really think that detective storytelling could sell even the most basic Harry Potter fan, but just the most basic fantasy fan on a show like this. If you're trying to catch dark wizards, you have episodes where you're probably trying to track them down. They'll show you tracking techniques, show you maybe spells and certain objects that they'll use to help find that stuff. And also, first and foremost, any show, think of any show, any story, any movie, Seven, what do you call it, Luther, Sherlock. There are many detective stories that are great, and just with the help of a good writing team, you can implement that into the series. Because that's what Harry Potter is at the heart. They are great mystery stories. The Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban. There are various stories each year in the original Harry Potter 7 books that explore a mystery that's surrounding Hogwarts, that's at Hogwarts. Usually the main characters have to investigate and solve and learn more about a certain thing, a certain someone, in order to figure out such a mystery, right? And that would really help this series episode to episode. You're tracking down a ring of dark wizards. You can almost compare it to crime dramas even as well, like a Narcos, even a Daredevil, if you want to compare it more to other types of modern fantasy that are clearly more appealing. So that would really help, in my opinion, if such a series like this was around. That would be a great, basic, unique selling point for it. Detective storytelling. Third thing, history. History would help out this series as one of the reasons why I want it, because there's certain things that could be explored in this series that we haven't truly delved into. What was it like after the big baddie in this franchise, Voldemort, is presumed dead, right? And various followers of his are on the run. Some have defected and been caught by other auras, by the government, but many are on the run. Many that are more, defensive, so on and so forth. These are the guys and girls that you don't want to mess with. The extra super duper savages. I want to meet those savages. It doesn't even have to be. You could use this. Speaking of history, you could use this as an opportunity to not even do anything about Voldemort or Grindelwald, because I know he's been explored in Fantastic Beasts. You could just use it to go about any part of that universe. Maybe everything that's happened after Voldemort and Grindelwald have been taken care of, and they're no more. Something in the future, when Harry Potter's an adult, and he himself is a Auror, right? Working in the government or the Ministry of Magic. But I'm trying to keep it basic for people who don't understand these words. Those are my 3 big things. History, like I said, the action, detective storytelling. There are other things like tone as well, but we all know going into Harry Potter, they're owned by Warner Brothers, so it's not a big deal for me. Guys, tell me down below. Of course, this is wish fulfillment, and like I mentioned at the top, this franchise doesn't have that clout that it used to anymore. And partly because of current controversies with Johnny Depp and J.K. Rowling. But do you think what I'm suggesting is a decent idea at the very least? Does it need some work? Is it just something I should just forget about and not to take too seriously? Tell me your thoughts. Press that thumbs up button if you like this video. Subscribe for more. Guys, other than that, I'm off. Salute.